All right, so once again, I'm live and stuff like that. Just going over a lot of things that have been going over the last week and a half. A lot of crazy stuff going on. It's kind of like deja vu all over again. The elections, the nonsense, and um, what they call the clown show continues to be continued, and it will be continued. As long as people understand what's going on, the clown show will continue. But nevertheless, doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. Just shows you how crazy people are. But it is going down though. It's going down all over the United States, really. And other countries as well. I don't want you to use America as the litmus test, but they are part of a thing going on here. What's going on, brother?
Yo,
What's up?
what's good, man? Big BJ in the house. What up, man?
Um, tripping, man. A lot of clown stuff going. Like, I was, man, look, man. I was out today, right? And I listened to stuff. They had some stuff. They was playing. What they song? I would listen to somebody drive by. I would listen to, I was thinking about this thing with LL Cool J and Biden, man. This little clown thing, right? You call them boys, you know what I'm saying? And I thought about this, yo. LL Cool J had a song back in the day called Lounging. You remember that, Joe?
Right. Then they had the remix with Total. It was a Total, yeah.
Yeah, who do you love?
Yeah, that was my jam.
Show? Huh?
That was my jam too.
That was a hot song, right? And he was talking about, basically he was trying to talk to the girl, the lady or whatever, the guy. He talking about the guy had all the money, but he won't, But I was looking at this thing, man. And I said, we go from this to this crap that we saw on CDs. I like, come on, man.
Like, are these cats really in charge? I mean, makes you think it's like, I think a lot of these dudes are paid. A lot of these celebrities, they got paid to do that, man. It was like, that's part of their little stipulation. Look, you gotta go.
I know you did hear that. Shout out to the brother Darren Muhammad bringing it up, but he talked about it, and I forgot LL Cool J was kind of cool with Quincy Jones and shit like that.
Right.
A lot of them about it. Tevin Campbell got all about that.
Tevin Campbell.
I know about all that. Tevin Campbell, he flanked, but
Tupac too. Tupac was down with Quincy Jones or his daughter.
Yeah, he was down with daughter. Matter of fact, I got to talk about that too because you remember her name was Khadijah Jones, something like that.
Kadaja.
But she was in the car behind him. But she wasn't in the car with him when the stuff went down. Yeah, because they went to that fight. Out there with the Orlando Baby Anderson and
the Tyson fight. But how come you know what's crazy? How come she was never interviewed, right? About that. It's kind of weird. you see how it's just like it just, there's a lot of controversy behind that too, because that fight was really, it wasn't that much people at that fight that night. It was really weird on a Vegas Mike Tyson fight night should have been really jam packed. I mean, as far as inside of the casino or whatever. But then, I mean, these are different pictures. Like you see the pictures, with them stomping.
Who was that? Who was that? That was Mike Tyson too.
That was a Mike Tyson fight. I think he fought Bruce Sheldon.
Yeah.
I remember that, man. I was a little squirt, man. I remember that, man. I was like 96. That was 96, man. I was like sixth grade, man. A lot of that stuff is weird, man. A lot of these people, like I said, man, They're not for you, man. You're doing something for the Congressional Black Caucus, knowing they're not doing stuff for us. But see, why would I care? Because I'm rich and famous. I'm LL Cool J. I got my money. I got my millions. Why would I care about my people? See, at least other groups, they at least they'll have their millions, they have their money, but they'll still speak out for their people a little something, something. It's just like we won't do that, man. People, they don't do that shit. They do the opposite. But I don't accept a celebrity. I expect a celebrity or somebody like that to even, you know what I'm saying, to speak out for us, man. I don't expect that, man. It should be our people, but we shields, man. That's why him and MC Light there, and then MC Light,
let me play
trying
it.
to
Let me play it.
talking about his policies are good for the economy and they're good.
Saying that shit.
Wow.
Listen to this. That clown, she's just a clown. Listen to this.
Our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's. And MC Light, both of you, thank you. Because they both have the light off on the mic, you're all here to listen to the new edition. Mike Bivens, 40 years producing music that lifts our soul.
All right. That man said, boy, and then he tried to switch it to man. All right, come on. But he didn't call him boy, though.
You see, you switched it because that was kind of suspect. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be good press release. But in some cases, it is good press release because drama is better than a drama story is better than no story. You know what I'm saying?
But look at the thing though, that got me. Here go the thing that got me, Frank, with the whole story. I ain't worried. You know what, that boy stuff was kind of bad. That was terrible because I ain't like that, right? But he said that man got bigger biceps than my thigh. That was kind of homosexual, don't you think?
No, huh?
I mean, he could have said MC Light look good or something. If that's the case, I mean, gee.
No, damn, he didn't say nothing about me. He didn't give her a compliment.
All right.
Man,
now, it goes to show you there's something going on here. So we got the clown show again. The clown show, and the clowns are in the circus. But nevertheless, got to bring up some more clown show, another psyop here. I'm going to get through these sides real quick before I get to the good stuff.
Two of the great artists of our time.
By the way, now they saying that Taylor Swift could be used to help in the election against Trump. I said, what the hell?
What the hell does she got to do with any of that?
Well, they might use her as a person to talk to people about voting and shit.
Well, see, because they know people are stupid, and they know people are out of worship. They ain't gonna listen to when their family members tell them, "Nah, don't do that." Don't vote. Don't. They ain't gonna listen to them. They ain't gonna listen to one of these celebrities. Let's believe that.
Shaq, what's up, brother?
Yo, Big Shaq, peace.
Shaq, you ready for the Clown Chronicles tonight? Well, he's on. But so Shaq, I want you to listen. I don't know if he's there. He's there. Look, under copyright section 106, this is for education personnel. This is by no means meant to infringe. This is for education, teaching, scholarship, and research. So, Frank, I just want you to see this ad. Somebody pointed out to me during the game the other day, and then all of a sudden I see Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift together. well, he not. She in the press box. But look at this.
Travis, did you know you can get this season's COVID-19 shot when you get your flu shot?
Two things at once.
Two things at once. Two things at once.
I'll have two things at once, please.
Now back to two things at once.
Two things at once.
That's not two things at once.
Mom.
Travis, ask about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Pfizer has aired its new and funny commercial featuring Travis Kelce. For his flu shot, the pharmacist informs Travis Kelce that he can get his flu shot and COVID-19 shot at the same time. Fascinated by the idea of accomplishing two things at once, Kelce's mind begins to wander into a whimsical daydream. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, hit the
Clown show. Frank, I call that a clown show.
Damn, man, that shit. What the fuck? These motherfuckers, dude. What the? Yeah, he did an advertisement like it was for a restaurant or for a fucking, you know what I'm saying? A Gatorade drink or something. It's like, man, dude, here we see, and that lets you know when they're doing this with these celebrities now, that lets you know that they're about to start pushing this again. And I think a little bit more toward come fall time, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? December, November. Yeah, it's going to get ready. Get ready.
Well, the commercial was kind of stupid to me anyway, but.
That's stupid.
What's
But
up,
two things
Shaq?
at one time, see, they don't know the adverse effects. You know what I'm saying? From you getting, but I think they do. Why did I just say that? So I think that's the whole point of them doing it.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. But I gotta pull, you know, a thing with that Shaq. We were talking about that thing with LL Cool J and them first, and then we talked about.
Oh, you played the video? Salute.
Yo.
Yeah, and we were talking about the clown show with Travis Kelce with this thing with Taylor Swift and how they probably can talk about Taylor Swift being used to help in the election or some dumb shit like that. I'm like, whatever.
That's the first.
You know, they're saying that they saying a lot of people criticizing them for bringing to the game. But let me pull up something that my good brother Darren pulled out. I didn't really even get into the dumb stuff. You know, shout out to Darren for bringing this up. But Travis Kelce and what's his name? Taylor Swift. They signed to the same agency. CAA.
What a coincidence.
So it could have been just a publicity stunt, Shaq. Let me pull that up.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Now check this out, Shaq and Frank. This was from May 31st. That's from May 31st with Travis Kelce. Hey, how you doing? He was on Saturday Night Live, but he signed with CAA for representation off the field. So, and Taylor Swift is also with that CAA stuff, creative ad thing or whatever. So I go to show you that, matter of fact, I think Kanye West will sign CAA too. But show you the clown show continues.
That's a good point.
He's pointing out there to you.
That's a good point. You know, they signed to the same agent, so this could all be a big publicity stunt, brother. how that works.
But let me ask you a question though. I've been seeing posts online, X Twitter, in the street, in the suites and all that. He got women that's mad with Travis Kelce for
Black
dating
women.
a white. Yeah, ain't that crazy?
You see, check. What we been talking about for 2 days straight, dude? What we been talking about? Look, check this out. You know what I'm saying? I know, the black women I know, they love black men. But what's up with a lot of women, man? Are you really see? Now I don't want to hear nothing about you don't love your mama because you dating a white girl. I don't want to hear, you know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all date outside your race the most. I don't want to hear y'all say, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear none of this from these females, man. I don't want to hear it because y'all females should not be saying none of this, man. This is a white boy with the white girl. You know what I'm saying? So you mad because you mad because you left the black chick, whatever. We don't even know what kind of real relationship that was. That could just been all some bullshit. You mad because he left her for the Taylor Swift, and it's like you said, this all could all be a publicity stunt. See, get us in our feelings and our emotions. But see, why do we care about what this white boy does outside of in his race? That's really weird.
I don't care.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, we crazy, man. I mean, not us, but these certain females speaking on it. I mean, just be honest. You love Zaddy. You want the white boy. Just be honest, man. Everything will be all right. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest, man. Just be honest with you. Right? Everybody's all good at this point. You know what I'm saying? You be honest with me, I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying?
Here go what Miss Felicia Lockhart says, because that other lady let him treat her bad. $100 over the duration of $100 duration, she allowed it, and now the black girls are mad because they wanted to believe the white boy was better.
Ooh.
$100 over the duration of the relationship, she allowed it, and now the black girls are mad because they wanted to believe that the white boy was better.
Ooh, see? I'm glad you said that, Felicia. See, this is what I'm talking about.
What's up,
This is what
Chak?
I'm talking about. Self-hatred. See, now
Yeah.
if you like somebody of another race, just say it. You know what I'm saying? That's your little prerogative. That's your persuasion. But
Chak, you there?
when you come out and cry out like this on the internet and Twitter and all this, what does that say? How do you look to other groups? How do you look? You look crazy. You look crazy to us. You look crazy to these other groups. You know what I'm saying? Really, because they're like, see, look at the self-esteem of these chicks. Look at the, you know what I'm saying? The self-hatred is real, man.
Chak, what you think about that comment right there? Oh, Chak, you there?
Mm-hmm.
That other lady let him treat her bad. $100 over duration of relationship, she allowed it, and now the black girls are mad because they want to believe that the white boy was better. Let me say something. I know goddamn well one thing. If that's all she got, $100, man. Pimping ain't easy. That's all he estimates he spent on her. And she let him. Whoa! That's some new stuff right there. Well, Dave, hey Frank. That's all he estimates. Daggone, I know some chicks tell you, daggone, they want you to take them to a 5-star restaurant for $200. So that's how crazy it was. I don't know what the hell wrong with her then, huh? Or what the hell wrong with him. But daggone, it is what it is. Hey,
dude, we be tripping, man.
I guess the vanilla ain't always good on the other side.
You see how he treat the sister like, and then he get with the Taylor Swift, even though, like I said, it might be a psyop. So this lets you know that a lot of these men do not want you. We've been saying it, Shaq. Weren't we saying that last night? A lot of these men don't want you. They don't want you, man. Let's be honest, man. If they want you for some kind of sexual escapade, and that's it. I mean, let's just face it, man. Shit, hell, you know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, man. We all grown adults here. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of cognitive dissonance with us, bro. It's really a lot of that.
It's called sexual escapades, man.
Like Janet Jackson.
So been a lot of mysterious deaths lately.
Yeah, we were saying that exactly. Felicia, we were saying that. Me and Shaq were saying that she's the one that make more dough probably than him, Taylor Swift. So it's just like it's crazy, man. I mean, I like these celebrity little celebrity little matches or celebrity little relationships be fake any damn way. What about y'all? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Rent a wife, rent a chick.
Mm.
Rent a chick. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, if they're on the same agency, man, it definitely was some type of media stunt. You know what I'm saying? Op.
All right, look. I
Photo
pulled
op.
this up. Is it? There was a rush. Wait a minute, this is a guy Russian. Let me make sure it is. No, it's a Russian crypto billionaire. He was killed mysteriously. He asked to on this roster, mysterious tragedies. You had the girl in Baltimore that was with EcoMap. She died the other day in a supposed murder suicide or something. I mean, yes, a murder homicide, I think. So a lot of people been getting off lately, as you can see. So you know what it tells me? It tells me that daggone somebody is getting upset here.
It's not right. With all this, something's not right. You know, something ain't right.
Something just ain't right, brother.
Cover-ups, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all heard about Cher. Cher, the singer, was accused of hiring men to kidnap her estranged son.
You know what? What's up with all these weird stories about these celebrities doing weird stuff? You know what I'm saying? Just like Blueface did the picture with his son, and just like what's up with all this weird, you know what I mean? This weirdness going on. You know what I'm saying? Madonna was accused of some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like what's up with these people and these kids, and it's like, man, it's just some, I don't know, man. I mean, they'll say that we could speak conspiracy theories, but all these stories that I'm starting to hear, man, I don't know about no conspiracy theory, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think that we really, and I know, and it's starting to meet, you know what I'm saying, clear that there's something with these damn entertainment and these damn celebrities, man. And like I said, root word of celebrities, I don't celebrate these people. I don't celebrate these people, man. I'm telling you.
Girl must be talking, Frank.
Wow.
Maxine, she must be talking.
Who talking?
Huh? She must be talking. Huh?
Who?
You talking about Cher's people?
The Maxine. What's her name? Maxine?
Maxine Waters?
No, the chick that got locked up, man. She must be talking. Huh?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Maxine. Who is that, Chak?
Epstein Island, man. Epstein Island.
Oh,
Maxine.
Maxine. Oh, Maxine. Oh, girl.
She must be talking. She
No,
must be talking.
That's a good point. I know you're
Hey,
hearing
look.
about all these stories, though, individually, one by one. You're hearing about all these little
Naked transgenders stand in front of 10, 12-year-old children. 10 and 12-year-old children explain why they had sex change and surgery on kids' TV show.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to get to that share store in a minute.
Felicia.
They had to bring this thing up about these trannies first. The tranny says, I woke up and I knew that my breasts were gone. That it looked like I always wanted to look.
It's crazy.
The TV show exposes completely nude adults to children whose job is to ask questions about the bodies of the fully naked men and women. This TV show was called The Simply Naked Show for Kids. That's it. Yep. That was it. The Simply Naked Show for Kids. So are we living in the underworld? That's all I'm asking. Are we living in the underworld? Yes, we are. All right. I had to get that story out of the way.
It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm. Sure accused of hiring men to kidnap his strange son. Pull this up. I got to get to a lot of stories tonight, so just hold tight. Cher accused of, so singer Cher was accused of orchestrating the kidnapping of her estranged son, Elijah Blue Allman, according to a year-old document obtained by the Messenger. Allman's wife, Mary Angela King, claimed the December 2022 declaration in the couple's divorce case that the pop star hired 4 men to abduct Allman from the New York City hotel they had been staying at last fall, according to a copy of the filing shared by the Daily Mail. King claimed her filing that she and Allman, who filed for divorce from her in 2012, were trying to reconcile, and they had spent 12 straight days together in New York before the alleged November 30th kidnapping incident in the hotel room. So, I know you got to be sick in the head if you daggone trying to daggone fake the stage of kidnapping in your own door.
Alleged. They say alleged, right? Well, I guess they got to say that for certain copyright purposes.
Yeah.
Still, when you hear that word, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay.
Hey, that word alleged. That's the key word, Frank. Thank you very much. All right. So I had to cover that. Just tell you, a lot of stuff been going on down the pike. You know, they said there's some rioters in Philadelphia. I might get to that.
But that's what I'm saying. Where did this come? Okay, see, I mean, when you get hit with this news, you gotta look at it like this: a lot of this stuff is Associated Press, a lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this, News Corp, a lot of these people, big companies, print out these stories. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to really be careful. You know what I mean? Because we know the controversy behind a lot of these places.
All right. Texas high school removes posts about homecoming king's win after hateful comments over his appearance. So you had a guy who went homecoming king, but he had a feminine appearance. Eddie Wilson, who's a senior and varsity cheer captain at Anderson High School, said he absolutely loves to wear makeup, dress, and get his hair done. But because society deems that his feminine possession, he said he's faced all sorts of harassment. Like, my cheer locker was vandalized through sophomore and junior. I'm a male, so I'm in the boys' locker room with baseball, soccer, and basketball players. One time, somebody took my cheer uniform, rubbed it in dirt, and hung it up on my locker. Honestly, it bothers me. That's why it meant so much to Wilson when his peers voted for him to become the new homecoming king last week. Never did he think this would happen when he moved back to Angleton, Texas from the Woodlands, Texas, during his freshman year. They got a homecoming king, but he's dressing up like a girl. Show you the state of the world we're in right now. Crazy, ain't it?
Why would he even win that? He's looking like that.
Who voted for him?
But see, it's a popularity thing with these kids in school too, though. But the thing is, see, back in the day, you say feminine or something like that. You know what I'm saying? A dude, or it's a different, like, it would have been a different story. You know what I'm saying? Maybe dude has some traits or something like that. Maybe he act like a little bit of phase. You know what I'm saying? He gets a certain age, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's a phase. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, when you talk about somebody is or looks feminine, they take that to the whole different dude. You talking about this dude talking about he likes to wear dresses and makeup and see, this is what I'm talking about. Just like you just said with the naked trannies in front of the kids. See, we say it's an agenda, and people try to look at you crazy and go against you for saying that, but you showing it's an agenda. Talk is cheap. I go by action. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's just me and this motherfucker. This is really interesting how this is playing out, man. But see, why these parents not calling this out? Maybe they come to
let me pull this up. Armed man at a Virginia church after posing threats on Instagram. This guy was an Asian guy. His name was Rui Yang. Posted a photo on Instagram of a gun being pointed at a computer screen showing the spire of a white church building. The words "beautiful old churches across America" were superimposed over part of the image. a series of posts featured vague threats of violence. One showed the lighted sign above the rain-slicked Institute of Park Village in Northern Virginia's Prince William County. The burning pages of the Bible were seen. Another, he was 35. He was dressed in black and wearing sunglasses. Now, they saying this Asian guy was trying to, do something with this church, right? Am I allowed to say stop Asian hate? They say the church got 1,000 members now, Frank and Shaq now. I'm like, what fool going to church with 1,000 people? And shoot that many people. That's a lot of people now. I hope you got 1,000 bullets now.
The pastor, his bank account looking nice.
Yeah, and it's a 300. I think they got a children ministry too.
Everybody putting $1 on that Wednesday. Everybody putting $1 on that Sunday. Whoo, man, we're looking good. We're looking real good because everybody gonna put more than $1 since they talk about 10%. You know what I'm saying? People gonna put way more than $1, man. They're killing it.
Now I'm gonna show y'all something that they showed in Chicago. Chicago is like ground zero for everything, right? They like it. Well, they're in New York.
Hey,
I saw this video though, man.
My bad.
I want y'all to think about it. I'm not saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it might not be staged, but it might be some stuff going on here, man. I want you to see this, Frank. Okay,
what we got going on, BJ?
Chicago surveillance video.
You already know I'm gonna call it out.
Look at this. There's another one I'm meeting a white girl too. Oh no, I think this is a girl. Yeah. You see it, Frank? You see it?
Oh shit. Oh. That's a little kid. That's a little girl, right? What the fuck?
Rudy.
Get the fuck off me! Asshole! Fucker! What the fuck? Get the fuck off me! Fuck off! Asshole! Kurva! Fuck!
What a dude.
What the fuck?
But how did they got audio? They have cameras that have what kind of camera? Was that a ring camera?
I don't know what the hell that shit was.
How did they get audio? How did they get audio?
I forgot where it's at, but they jacked his ass. Now, why do you think they keep showing?
And they had two camera angles. They had two camera angles. How did they switch to the camera angle? Is this the evidence? Is this the tape that no? Is this the tape that the cops got, or the 2 tapes that they confiscated? How
I'm
did
trying
it
to tell
switch
you
perfectly?
straight. Why you think I asked you? Do you think this could be a psyop, man?
What the
It just
fuck?
don't. It ain't adding up. They got 2 cameras. That's exactly what I'm trying to show you. You caught on what I was catching on.
And that shit was like it looked like somebody like a perfect what's his name, dude? Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Perfect
And
setup,
the
right?
thing is, what they jack? It was what was that backpack? What did they jack it for? How you gonna jack? I don't know, man.
Forget.
You stealing something from somebody you don't even know what's in the motherfucker.
But they done came and told you that 400 to 500 right at closing. CVS can close a lot of stores.
Yep.
They came out and said
Right.
they Target and all these stores recently talking about they closing. And they say doing the shoplifting retail theft. That's part of the plan, baby.
Makes sense.
They're gonna get the land in the stores and the community for cheap.
And this is supposed to be in Chassis, and they always gotta put it on Chicago. Chicago, it's always
Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, in California. Some state of California.
Mm.
Chak, what you think about this, man? Chak, you there? Oh, yeah. Might be. He might have asleep. So that brother fall asleep over, you know.
And then they follow that motherfucking everything, man. But it's like, where did it, I don't know, man.
But you saw they had 2 camera angles, right? That's what I say. I'm not getting this. Like, why they didn't get this all in one shot?
And the thing is, so it's just like, I mean, that's weird though. So it's like, okay, so the thing is, they got cameras on the streets. So all they had to do was they have cameras that can zoom in on your motherfucking face on the street. So all they had to do was fucking pinpoint and go to the next camera and shit to wherever street or other street or street, you know what I'm saying? A intersection or whatever they went to. They could have, where's the other camera footage at? It's like, it's crazy. It's weird. It's like, I don't know, man. It just, when it's about Chicago, sometimes I kind of be skeptical. It's like, that's that go-to city, that go-to black violence, talking point city, terrible crime. And that's that city, that's that go-to, you know what I'm saying? When they have that agenda, when they're talking about black people, that's the city they talk about.
All right. Now let me look at this, man. Benjamin Netanyahu came over to I think he came to California to meet with Elon Musk, and he told him to roll back anti-Semitism on X, formerly known as Twitter. There's Elon Musk and Ben Netanyahu right there. If you see it, right? But he told him to roll back on anti-Semitism on his platform. He said, after exchange about the regulation of artificial intelligence, Netanyahu praised Musk for his commitment to freedom of speech and pleaded with him to fight back against hate speech. I know your commitment to free speech, but I also know your opposition to anti-Semitism. You've spoken about it, tweeted about it, and all I can say is I hope you find within the confines of the First Amendment the ability to stop not only anti-Semitism or roll it back as best as you can, but any collective hatred on people. I know you're committed to that, and I hope you succeed. It is not an easy task, but I encourage you and urge you to find a balance. Musk replied that he was attacking. Oh, sorry about that. Musk replied that he was against attacking anything. It doesn't matter who it is, and his vision for humanity becoming a spacefaring species is undermined by infighting and hatred and negativity. Obviously, I'm against anti-Semitism. Musk continued. I'm anti really anything that, as you know, that promotes hate and conflict. And I'm in favor of that which helps society and takes a step better future for humanity collectively. This was a brief exchange by Netanyahu to California, where he traveled to New York to meet with world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly. So before he went to the United Nations General Assembly in New York City, he made sure to meet with Elon Musk to talk about anti-Semitism. Let that hit you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this shit? What do you think about that, Frank? What do you think about that?
You just happen to go to, meet with Netanyahu.
You came all the way from Israel to talk about some anti-Semitism.
But see, that lets you know it's not happening like that because, so why are you going to come to America from Israel and talk about it? That lets you know it's just like, It's an agenda. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, so is there just why you don't never hear about the anti-Semitism in Israel? Aren't there Palestinians in Israel, which is their real homeland, by the
Yes.
way? Aren't there other type of ethnicities and other type of people of different faiths there? Yeah. So, and they treat the people fucked up. So you would think that you would hear more. I'm not even gonna say anti-Semitism. You would just think you would hear more people going in, basically protecting themselves and sticking up for themselves against these Zionists. We call them the Zionists. That's what they are. The Creed people, baby. You know what I'm saying? The Creed people. They at it again, man. They pushing their agendas. You know what I'm saying? The agenda's being pushed. But see, why are we not calling it out? I mean, we're calling it out, but we people
Man,
just go with it. We roll
there you
with
go, because you too busy watching LL Cool J.
it. You so man, Real Housewives of Atlanta and fucking and basketball and Love and Hip Hop, which is the worst show ever. Worst show ever. You got a female named Mona Scott Young that made that show. She's an actual Haitian descent. But see, that makes sense. If I'm a foreigner, I can make the worst, put y'all in the worst light because I'm not a American-born person that looks like y'all. So I could clown you all you want. I'm not from here. I'm from Haiti. You see how they do it? It's like,
Hey,
but I
man,
look like you, so everybody's gonna think that I'm from out here.
You see how your boy Cory Booker had that pink tutu, that pink shorts on?
That dude, man. I've been knew he was something wrong. Something was up with him.
Hey, look,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? That dude pushing agendas too, Cory Booker, man. It's just like, and I'm glad he didn't win. Because he's whack. Him and Kamala Harris is buddy. I see why, because they're both corny as hell. They both doing the passing thing. What's his name? I think Cory Booker actually is mixed with so-called black, but Kamala Harris, you can't tell me there ain't no drop of so-called black blood in that lady, man. She is 100%. She Indian. She's a Brahmin Indian. You know how the high class that is?
Let's talk about this. So let's talk about heightened security.
I'll be right back, BJ. I'll be right back.
Well, let me go ahead and play it. I might have to play it twice, but.
On display in the tri-state during the Rosh Hashanah New Year holiday this past weekend. Bomb threats made against temples in Nassau and Suffolk counties on Long Island, although cops say none were credible, none of the threats. But it was unnerving nonetheless. Hate crimes up in the U.S. over the past 2 years. That we know. Although this year in New York City, hate crimes against Jews are down 21%. Still high, but the NYPD has made this a priority. Meanwhile, today, another move to try to fight the hate. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg.
The sign at Temple Beth David in Comac marks the Jewish New Year, but it began with a scare for this congregation, an email with a bomb threat.
It was a graphic sentence that there'd be people in pools of blood.
The attack didn't happen, and it turns out the threat was one of 5 at Long Island synagogues over the holiday weekend. Additionally, MacArthur Airport received a threat. Police say all the threats were unfounded. And while this is all unsettling, Rabbi Beth Clafter believes her congregants will continue to show up.
I think it's in some ways a feeling of we want to be together and we will not let actions like this get in their way.
But anti-Semitic actions are becoming more prevalent.
That's one anti-Semitic attack, physical, verbal, every 33 hours here in New York.
And to fight that, Governor Kathy Hochul announced a number of steps today, including the creation of an anti-hate education center, improved collection of data involving hate incidents, and hate crime seminars for law enforcement.
Certainly it's a step in the right direction.
Rabbi Jessica Rosenthal's congregation, B'nai Israel Temple in Oakdale, was also targeted with an email threat. B'nai Israel will have increased security for Yom Kippur services Sunday and Monday, and she expects a strong attendance.
When we receive hateful words and hateful messages, that's very difficult. But I also think that one of the most important things, that I can say about it is that we can't let this hatred or this anti-Semite define who we are.
Because doing so would allow hate to win.
Man, that is so much nonsense, man. But nevertheless, I mean, it's kind of weird, man, It's like they keep drumming it up. It's like precautionary too. Stay lying. It's kind of like they lying about it. Got to talk about anti-Semitism and all that. Y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about? Is everybody being anti-Semitic? I don't believe that word even in my vocabulary, man. What's up, man?
Anti-Semitic?
Did you see the video I just played?
No, I had to step out for a second.
All right,
What
let me go ahead and
we
replay
talking
it.
about?
I'm gonna play it for you.
During the Rosh Hashanah New Year holiday this past weekend, bomb threats made against temples in Nassau and Suffolk counties on Long Island, although cops say none were credible, none of the threats. But it was unnerving nonetheless. Hate crimes up in the U.S. over the past 2 years. That we know. Although this year in New York City, hate crimes against Jews are down 21%. Still high, but the NYPD has made this a priority. Meanwhile, today, another move to try to fight the hate. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg.
The sign at Temple Beth David in Comac marks the Jewish New Year, but it began with a scare for this congregation, an email with a bomb threat.
It was a graphic sentence that there'd be people in pools of blood.
The attack didn't happen, and it turns out the threat was one of 5 at Long Island synagogues over the holiday weekend. Additionally, MacArthur Airport received a threat. Police say all the threats were unfounded. And while this is all unsettling, Rabbi Beth Clafter believes her congregants will continue to show up.
I think it's in some ways a feeling of we want to be together and we will not let actions like this get in their way.
But anti-Semitic actions are becoming more prevalent.
That's one anti-Semitic attack, physical, verbal, every 33 hours here in New York.
And to fight that, Governor Kathy Hochul announced a number of steps today, including the creation of an anti-hate education center, improved collection of data involving hate incidents, and hate crime seminars for law enforcement.
Certainly, it's a step in the right direction.
Rabbi Jessica Rosenthal's congregation, B'nai Israel Temple in Oakdale, was also targeted with an email threat. B'nai Israel will have increased security for Yom Kippur services Sunday and Monday, and she expects a strong attendance.
When we receive hateful words and hateful messages, that's very difficult. But I also think that one of the most important things, that I can say about it is that we can't let this hatred or this anti-Semite define who we are.
Because doing so would allow hate to win.
What's up, man? What do you think about that, Frank? What do you think about that, Frank? Now, wait a minute now, Frank. They told you it's down 21%. So what the hell are we talking about here?
What we talk? If it's down with it, the propaganda to keep it to the fear base.
Then they told you they had threats, but none of the threats were credible. So why you bring it up then?
Why you bring it up? I think this lady talking about, because she's a creed person herself. So I have to push the agenda. But see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See how these groups and these politicians, they do stuff for their people? And our politicians don't do nothing for us. You see that? That's a prime example. But see, they know damn well ain't no damn hate crimes going on with no damn Jews. And then you got the migrants out there too. You got all this going on. It seems like it's just a distracting campaign. It seems like it's a distraction, to be honest with you. You know what? They're gonna get some more legislation.
Let me show you this.
They're gonna get some legislation out of that. You know what I'm saying, BJ?
So you know how they always talk about Nazis and all that other nonsense about, anti-Semites and all that? You know that, right? You hear me, Frank?
Yep.
Let me show you how hypocritical these bastards are. I got to show you this. Listen to this, Frank. About 11 minutes long, but you can listen to a little bit of this.
Nazi-linked veteran Yaroslav Hunka to Canada's Parliament Friday, where he was met with a standing ovation. Here's what he told reporters yesterday.
Obviously, it's extremely upsetting that this happened. The speaker has acknowledged his mistake and has apologized. But this is something that is deeply embarrassing to the Parliament of Canada and, by extension, to all Canadians. I think particularly of Jewish MPs and all members of the Jewish community across the country who are commemorating Yom Kippur today.
Trudeau seemed to blame the mishap on Russian propaganda. Let's take a look.
I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine, as we did last week with announcing further measures to stand with Ukraine in Russia's illegal war against it.
Sure, Michael, what does Russia have to do with
Bree,
this?
I was going to ask you that same question. I am baffled by that response. The Russians didn't force the Canadians to invite this guy and then give him a standing ovation. I mean, that was bizarre.
It was bizarre, but it is not out of turn. Exactly. It is completely consistent with what has been going on among liberals, where every faux pas, every misstep seems so easily attributed to somehow Putin. I mean, this whole scandal has provoked an interesting debate, at least on leftist Twitter, about whether or not people are kind of using on the right are using this moment and making fun of Trudeau and dunking on the embarrassment of the Canadian Parliament giving a Nazi a standing ovation as a way to kind of wash their hands of their own kind of entanglement with various Nazi actors over the years. Lauren Loomer was dunking on a clip of this standing ovation, and people were pointing out that she was known to have been having a very intimate social interaction with the well-dressed Nazi whose name just flew out of my head. The famous white supremacist who was down at the "You Will Not Replace Us" rally. Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Well, for a while there, he was consorting with Lauren Loomer at the bar. And so there's this question of, is there a certain opportunism at play here among some conservatives who are saying, well, if I make fun of Canadians for doing this, maybe everybody will forget all the Nazis I've been hanging out with. Nick Fuentes is in the
where are these? I mean,
it's not very many.
I've never, well, I won't say never, but at least to my knowledge, I have not ever been around a Nazi. I don't think I've ever hung out with any Nazis. It's like, where are people finding all of these Nazis all of a sudden?
Well, that's a good question, because you would think they'd be relatively hard to find. Yes. But here they are having dinner with Donald Trump in the form of Nick Fuentes, hanging out with Kanye West.
Getting standing ovations.
Yeah, here I think we actually have the Lauren Loomer tweet here for you to look at. Oh, this is my response to it. She had tweeted down below a quote tweet and laughing about exactly Ukrainian Nazis, presumably condemning them. And I, pointed out that that's her and Richard Spencer pictured there in a rather intimate embrace. it feels like everybody is wrong, right? There's just too many Nazis afoot, generally speaking.
It is just really odd to me that these folks are popping up everywhere. Maybe it just appears everywhere because we're talking about it. But in my everyday life, I mean, I hang around a lot of people that are very diverse. I mean, Bree, I just don't ever recall seeing anybody or having conversations about, man, you know, so-and-so was hanging out with a Nazi yesterday. But yet all of our political actors appear to be hanging out, supporting, having dinner, giving applause to, taking advice from people who clearly have beliefs that I think most Americans would say aren't representative of our values in this country.
Yeah, I mean, the approach that's been taken by many conservatives is to push back against arguments from liberals and the left that there has been a rise in anti-Semitism and hate crimes. Elon Musk has insisted that that's not the case on Twitter. People have insisted broadly that arguments in favor or arguments that seem to support a rise in hate crimes are a tool of authoritarianism. You know, people wanting to implement more hate crime laws and to ratchet up whatever is deemed hate crime, want you to believe in those statistics, even though they're not true. So there's pushback. And it is frustrating because there's so much politicization of the conversation. You know, it came up on the show recently and it seemed like there was no source I could cite for that would satisfy Robbie as credible that would point to any evidence of there being more incidents of racially, ethnically, or religiously motivated crimes. And so if we're in a place where you think that anybody who's doing that research is biased because they're trying to...
Because of the politics.
of it, then we're in a world where we just don't measure if there's hate crimes until people are frog marching down the street.
That I really hate, I have to be honest, and I love politics. But I don't think we should be in a place where we can't have open and honest conversations about hatred. I mean, there is nothing acceptable about that. You know, I mean, I have grandparents, for goodness sakes, who grew up in the segregated South that are still alive. To me, those conversations, and there's no debate on this. We shouldn't debate this. We shouldn't be hanging out with people who are Nazis. We just shouldn't.
Well, sure,
whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, there's just no excuse, in my opinion, to hang out with those sorts of people. And I am, again, baffled. This seemingly continues to happen from our hip hop artists to politicians in the U.S., to the Canadian Parliament. And what's weird to me, Brian, we spoke about this yesterday, not a single person on any of these individuals' staff, people to say, wait a minute, we should not invite this person to dinner in the case of Trump, because Trump said, I didn't know who this guy was.
Or they did and they don't care.
Or in the case of Canada, I think the member who invited him, he said, I had no clue who this guy was. How is that possible?
I mean, to research people, you'd have to have people and doing investigations and like studying white supremacy and studying anti-Semitism, and people aren't interested in doing that. You have Republicans shutting down entire departments of colleges that study the history of racism and how not to repeat some of these mistakes of history, because apparently learning about Black studies or anti-Black racism is not considered to be viable.
I think
you have a debate on the left that's going on right now about whether or not Cornel West it's appropriate for him to even bring up the idea of white supremacy. If it's too woke for him to reference white supremacy.
I mean, like I am of the belief, and I hope I'm right about this, that most people who watch this show, most Americans generally speaking, do not stand on the side of hate. Whether they're Republican, whether they're Democrats. I think most of the Canadian people, Canada's a beautiful place, I've been many times. I think most of them are likely appalled by what they saw from their elected officials. So I want to hope, I want to believe that this is not representative of most people. And I think most people go on about their daily lives interacting with a whole host of different people without any problems. And then we have these instances that remind us that these things still exist, unfortunately.
Well, journalist Glenn Greenwald chimed in on X saying it's obviously shocking that Trudeau, Zelensky, and the entire Canadian Parliament gave a standing ovation to a Nazi soldier, but it's not surprising. The last decade, Western political and media circles warned Nazism was dominant in Ukraine, especially among its fighters. And that's true. I think yesterday on the show, I pointed to the fact that there was in a 2018 spending bill tucked into by Ro Khanna and I believe some others,
All right. Let me bring this up, Frank. Let me say this. You really believe that was a mistake they brought that guy before the parliament for real? You know the guy resigned today. They threw him under the bus. He did resign. But they were just showing they were Nazis the whole time. They showed you who they are. Won't no Russian propaganda, none of that. They just told you a big fat always lie.
Well, see, they know they could do that. You know, they could just put up.
Frank, they play in your face and tell you, shut up, daggone. It was Russia.
I can't stand them, man. Why we, you know, and that's the thing too. I just can't stand it, man. But see it's the power of manipulation, engineering consent. You see what I'm saying? Conditioning. You see what I'm saying on the damn
I like
people.
what the brother.
You know what I mean?
I like what the brother Dr. Lee Muhammad said, and he showed a picture of George Bush daddy, and he was saying that daggone his Prescott Bush was an international banker. George Bush was head of the CIA. Young George Bush, the son, right? He was the son of former CIA, and what he was saying was the Nazis ain't never losing the war, man. They just came on to America. Matter of fact, the Germans were trained by the Americans.
Especially with the eugenics too,
Yeah.
with the hatred, all that, with the ideology, the propaganda.
Yeah. And check this out. What did Donald Rumsfeld say on September 10th, 2001? What did he say? You know? You remember?
You're talking about the money being missing, right?
He said $2 trillion was missing.
2 trillion.
He said $2 trillion missing. And daggone, how about in 9/11, the building where they say had the records with the truth got blown up?
The building with the money in it just happened to crumble. That's what, yeah.
Ah, you like that, huh?
So we could take it right out the back door. Meanwhile, this motherfucker burning. It's gone. It perished.
They said during the scamdemic, only 10% of the money was used toward health. So getting all this money, Frank? Who getting all this money? Where the money going? Did it go poof?
Interesting.
Hey, now, you know something, man? Let me say this before I go, man. I got to bring this up. I got to talk about this Dove boycott. You know Dove going through a boycott, right? You know that, right? Dove soap. You know going through a boycott?
The soap, right?
Yeah. They got a BLM girl on there, man. It ain't a pretty picture, Frank, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Dove faces boycott for partnering with BLM activists. All right. Let me play this for you, man.
Let's talk about Dove, of course, the skincare company. And for some reason, they're wrapping their arms around one of these idiot BLM people.
Oh my God, this story is unbelievable. So her name is Zaina Bryant, and she's all about fat liberation, Paul. She wants to be the face of the fat liberation movement.
Woo!
And so she partnered with Dove, and apparently Dove doesn't have access to Google, because a simple Google search would have shown Dove that she's a deeply problematic person. This is the person who tried to ruin the life of a white student at the University of Virginia. She tried to actually ruin this young woman's life, tried to get her expelled from the college by falsely claiming that this young white woman had made comments about Black people being speed bumps at a BLM riot or protest in the face of police. It wasn't true. she lied repeatedly about it. She said the woman said it 5 times and she was, advocating for it and so on. The university did a deep dive on it. Some of them just took this woman's word. I mean, this woman was on her way to expulsion until finally it came out that she had absolutely no eyewitnesses. And in the face of more scrutiny, this new face of Dove, fat liberation lady, completely folded like a cheap tent and said, maybe I misheard. Meanwhile, she told the story in more and more embellished ways. No accountability whatsoever for her. So now she comes out on the Dove, I don't know, fat liberation. But you're a soap. I'm sorry, you're soap.
You're not changing the world. You're not
What are you
changing the
doing?
world.
Just clean up your act, Dove. I don't care what you think. So bad. Okay. So anyway, she comes out and she says, I wrote it down. We should be centering, hate this woke language. We should be centering voices of those who live in and maneuver through. Their statements are always filled with like redundant phrases that are meaningless. Live in and maneuver through spaces and institutions, there it is again, in a fat body. We should be centering voices that belong to fat bodies. Now, I couldn't care less about her fat body. It's more her anorexic mind that upsets me. And this partnership must end, or Dove must get the Anheuser-Busch treatment.
Hallelujah, sister. Look, here's the thing. We get it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, all that crap. But look, as a fat bloke, I know that my body ain't that healthy, all right? And I know that her body ain't that healthy, and she can feel good about it and hope that everyone's going to clap her when she gets around in a bikini. But I'll give her the tip. Who's going to have the longer life? The healthy person, not the fat person. That's just the way that it is. So
Frank, her name. Yeah, Frank, you can look up. Her name is she from down here in Virginia, like I think Charlottesville or something. But she look, I mean, you see her, she about 400 pounds or 300 pounds, something like that. But I think she would be a limb or whatever. But yeah, Dove is facing the boycott behind this because the situation they just talked about. But then she started talking about some fat liberation or something. And I just want to use this example, not so much what they're talking about, but this thing with fat liberation and stuff. Everybody want to be liberated from something. But come on, man. I mean, like, we done got this thing where we done got this utopia, like, mind, like, the guy is right. Like he said, I'm a fat guy. I know I'm unhealthy. But we praise unhealth these days, That's kind of crazy. You can be 400 pounds, and if a brother doesn't want you because you're 400 pounds, he's the scum of the earth.
Damn. These are worse things to slice bread, dude. Like, that's true.
Or on the other hand, if a sister don't want a brother because he's 300 pounds, then you don't
never really hear nothing like that. You don't really see. I think it's only fat shaming when it comes down to women, though. When it comes down to a man, when they don't like a dude because he's big, there's no such thing as fat shaming.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ain't no such thing as fat shaming when it comes down to man. What's this? Just like colorism. Oh, you can't because no colorism when it comes down to dude being darker. Brought not wanting him because he's too dark or whatever. There's no colorism there.
Back in the day, the AKAs used to have a paper brown bag test.
Oh, I remember. I heard about that, dude. See? But see, that's what I'm saying. Like old girl was saying to the white girl, was on the white girl. We trip on these. We I think a lot of these people try to subliminally say that they think that the European is superior than them. To them.
I told you the vanilla ain't always. Hey man, I told you the vanilla ain't always better on the other side.
Yeah, it's like, why do you? So you don't like when they stereotype you, or you don't like when they say something about you, but you stereotype and you use colorism against your own people by doing a paper bag test. That's not colorism. You know, see, it's just like, but see, and it's crazy because they're doing that to be a part of the HBCU, which is owned by a Creed person probably, or a Rockefeller or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you're doing all this just to be closer to the European, but you want to talk about the European, talk when it's racism, white supremacy, when it's convenient for you, but then, you know what I'm saying, you're making little epithets just like the European would. I don't know, man.
It's kind of crazy.
There's a superior inferiority complex with the people, with our people, and I think some of these people think that they're superior. That's what I think. Just by what they might say, hey, you know what, this motherfucker's superior to me. They're not gonna say it; they show it.
Well, look, I think my buddy might have knocked out. He might be tired, you know, but it is what it is. Ain't no problem. But yeah, you just go ahead and share your information, brother.
We're looking up for bringing me back on this bad boy. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you good.
Always good dialogue, man. So y'all could hit me up at XX Frank Nitty X man. Frank XX Frank Nitty XX man on YouTube. I got an Instagram, the same handle, and I got an Instagram that's Frank Jones 8115, man. So y'all hit me up, man. Tap in with me, man.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I forgot one topic, but you shot the information. It's okay. Let me go ahead and play this topic before I forget, because this was a serious story. I got
right about the 11-year-old girl in Chicago.
Yeah.
I know you was gonna. That was weird. I do that a lot.
Yeah. I forgot. I didn't forget about it, but it's just that I went through so much other stuff. Let's put this up there. She was attacked by some Latinos, by the way.
To see my family go through this is so hard right now. I just don't want to go through this anymore.
Today, Trinity Washington was surrounded by her family, friends, and community members at the Chicago Police Department's 10th District. This after the girl and her family were allegedly the target of a racial slur. Then the girl was attacked by two women September 17th.
It grieves me deeply to see what has happened to Trinity. It's not something that she nor any child deserves.
The group gathered today questioned why they say police didn't respond to the incident immediately. And on Saturday, Washington's mother says someone related to the alleged perpetrators threatened her at gunpoint. She and a 10th District Council member say police again were delayed in responding.
My house have not been the same since this happened. School, she missed school. She tells me all the time. She missed her friends. It's just so hard. I didn't know I have to be fearful of my life to come outside again.
Chicago police offered this statement saying the department will not tolerate violence in our communities, especially violence against children. We stand with the child who was injured and will continue to support her and her family as she recovers from this heartbreaking attack. Chicago police confirm a woman was arrested in connection with the girl's beating and charged with aggravated battery to a child. And a man was arrested for allegedly threatening the girl's mother on Saturday. He is charged with aggravated assault, use of a deadly weapon. Regarding questions about response times or upgrading charges to hate crimes, CPD tells us this investigation is active and ongoing.
All right. That's all nice to hear, but they ain't tell you this happened during Hispanic Heritage Month, and this happened last week. They didn't mention the fact that these were some Latinos that did this.
They didn't say no race. Ooh.
Yeah, you see that, right? You got that, huh?
And they got a Mexican lady right here too to report on the story. Ooh.
You see what they did, right?
Bars.
Yeah, I just let you know
It's
They
subliminal.
made
You know what?
sure
It's very
they
psychological, bro.
they made sure they didn't plaster that to let you know, to put any light on them. They just told you it was a woman that was arrested.
And a man. And they
Yeah,
didn't say
so
that the
let
man
me
put.
know.
He did, they
Let
didn't
me
say that the
know.
man pulled the gun.
Let me know the race or ethnic group. So, because I know now, I know y'all hiding information.
They're hiding information.
Investigation ongoing.
But you know what? If that would have been, see, you know what's funny? When these, because this happened in Chicago, right? These all these when when the so-called black people, so-called Chicago 12 people to 40 some people getting shot in one weekend, or Father's Day weekend, or some bullshit like that. They always point out brothers. They're always pointing out that his brothers doing it. It's funny when we do the crime,
The younger
supposedly
sister
or
got
allegedly.
attacked, Frank. They don't want to talk about this one.
Oh no, they ain't gonna say that. And they got the Mexican reporter. But see, if I was smart, if I didn't even know that was Mexican, I would have known that was a Mexican suspect, just by or a victim, just by how there's a Mexican reporter. See, it's psychological, man. These people playing, these news stations are playing on it too. I mean, we're already divided, but this is right here. We already divided people. Oh, they're trying to divide. Too late. Look, we've been divided for fucking forever. But
now, let me play one other video for you. This just came across my feed.
okay,
right
okay,
here.
real quick. They
Go
didn't
ahead.
see. You see how they're talking about it's an ongoing investigation. That means there's nothing really going to happen to them.
Oh, I know it ain't. That's what I was about to tell you. I'm glad you threw that out there. I'm glad you said it.
How is it an ongoing investigation? They're the suspects. They got to let accused of doing this. Obviously, the girl got hit with a bottle. Obviously, where was the witnesses at? So was there witnesses or not witnesses?
Now,
Can
can I play? I'm gonna play two videos, but they the contrast, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of them is a contrast, the other one just some bullshit. But look.
We have dramatic video of looting in the city last night. 30 people were arrested, but officers say dozens of others got away. These kinds of smash and grabs have become all too common, forcing some retailers to make drastic changes. Target just announced it is closing 9 stores in some major cities, all because of the recent violence and theft. NBC's Rahema Ellis is in Philadelphia covering all of it for us. Rahema, I'll talk Target in a minute, but can we start with Philadelphia where you are? Walk us through what happened and what are you seeing there today?
Well, what happened, it happened to this Apple store. As soon as this truck moves out of the way, on the other side of it, there's an Apple store. Its windows are covered, and there's a sign in front saying it is temporarily closed because of people breaking into the store last night. Just down the street, there's a Lululemon, which was also broken into. Mannequins toppled to the floor. There is clothing that's strewn all about the floor. So those two places, as well as a Foot Locker here in Philadelphia's Center City area, they were broken into. We just got this word from authorities that some 49 adults were arrested in connection with this, 3 teenagers on charges of burglary and theft. Authorities tell us while there has been an increase in retail crime here in Philadelphia, almost about 33%.
All right, Frank, hold it. They say 3 teenagers at number 3 again. You heard it. They just said it, man. They just said 3 teenagers. Can you hear me?
Yep.
They said at number 3 again. At number 3, you heard it.
Oh, and then my bad. My bad. I forgot to point out too. Kathy Hogan earlier in her little speech, she said 33 times. Ooh, dude, man, here we go, man. Why they keep? I mean, man,
Hey, man, they pointing in your face, ain't they, man?
They're putting it in your face, man. But see, I think that's what they're supposed to do. I think they're supposed to tell you what's going on, whether they do it subliminally or not, or and then they do it, and then they say, "Well, you can't say we didn't warn you. You can't say we didn't tell you." That's what that is, man. That's what that is.
Let me let them continue. They might throw another dime here. Oh.
Say that what happened last night. They say it was an isolated event. Kate and Sinclair.
Rahema, let's talk about that big announcement coming from Target. The company says it's closing some of its stores for good because of scenes just like this. Talk to us about that decision. And do we know where they're going to close those stores?
Yeah, we do. And it's really disturbing for people in those areas because they really rely on these Target stores. They don't just sell clothing and merchandise, they also sell food in a lot of places that might have been considered food deserts once upon a time. So take a look at the map that we've got for you, this full screen. It shows that there's one in New York and it's also actually in East Harlem. There are 2 closing in Seattle, Washington, 3 in Portland, Oregon, and 3 in San Francisco in the Oakland area. This is a big blow, again, as I say, to the people who live in those communities. But Target is saying it's a big blow to them, too, that they cannot afford to have that kind of a deduction, a subtraction from their bottom line as a result of people breaking
Hold
in
up,
on these
man. Hold
crime
up,
sprees.
wait up, dude.
Rahima
Wait up.
Ellis for us.
Kate?
Rahima, thank you so much.
BJ. Okay. All right, fine. Okay, one thing. The reason why he's closing this store, they're doing these smash and grabs. It's all staged so they can close the store, so they can have excuse to close the gang of stores. And for 2,
An 11-year-old recovering from a sex.
for 2, why she why
A new accuser.
Wait, hold up, real quick, BJ. Hold up.
I'm not
Let me say this
going.
about the smash and
I
grabs.
just moved to the next video, but go ahead.
They closing in East Harlem, and all these they're closing these stores around the country, right? Did the smash and grabs happen in all those places they're closing the stores? No.
No.
So what does that have to? You see that they're just closing. They want to close those stores there. Why are you closing the stores and blaming on smash and grabs if the smash and grabs didn't happen on all the stores locations that you got to close? Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying, BJ? Did one happen in East Harlem? Did one happen in California? I didn't hear nothing about East Harlem or California. They didn't even say. Did they even say what state?
2 or 3 of them in California, though.
But did they even say what state that was? And see why they said specifically Target. When didn't they have smash and grabs in other stores recently? Why did they not?
They
why
also
Target?
said 9, which is 9. If you divide 9, it's a reflection of 3.
You can't make this
9
stuff up,
divided by
BJ.
3 is 3, brother.
You can't make it up.
But hey, look, and then they had the word 30, which still got the number 3 in it. 30 store. Now they say they got 50 people arrested today in Philadelphia looting spree. But wait a minute, you got all these arrested. Can I go on Philadelphia's website and add judicials and find these damn arrests there to make sure y'all not lying?
Right. And if they arrest, how did they arrest 30? That's a lot of people, but not arrest not all of them. How's that work? So you had 30 officers and that was it, or you just can't make this stuff up, man.
Wait a minute, Frank. Hold on. I just thought about it.
How many cops did you have?
They might have a drone technology where they can just follow you and they're gonna get you later though.
That's true. I seen that. Oh, they got a video.
Wait.
You seen the video the other day? They about to start releasing drones in New York.
Yeah, they were doing it.
And them robot dogs too, man.
This is my last video.
And they're gonna be releasing them on the migrants. They ain't gonna be releasing them on the immigrants though.
Hey,
they're gonna release them on ours.
This is the last one I'm gonna play.
Is coming forward with her own story about working with Lizzo. She never interacted with the star directly, but she's accusing the star's team of racial and sexual harassment.
I'm coming into work with someone who has physically assaulted me, with someone who's threatened me, someone who is not allowing me to go eat when I need to eat.
Designer Asha Daniels claims she also witnessed racism from Lizzo's team and claims she heard a separate staffer on Lizzo's team mocking the girls and even Lizzo herself in a racist way.
You say that Amanda would allegedly mock Lizzo.
Yeah, Amanda would regularly mock both Lizzo and the big girls, and she would refer to them as fat or just like a bevy of like really inappropriate things, useless, lazy, and she would do like a stereotypical Black like impersonation of them. And I told her like, this is actually really offensive, and she just laughed it off.
Most of your allegations are against Amanda Nomura. What about Lizzo herself? Since you never interacted with her, how much responsibility do you think she has in all of this?
I'm a business owner myself, and I was so shocked that Lizzo's workplace wasn't in line with who we know as the star Lizzo. So I can say in my own life, I'm responsible for the people who work for me and who work on my projects. And I think that everybody is.
Impact reached out to Amanda Nomura, a supervising agent for Lizzo, for comment. She didn't respond.
Wow.
Well, just
Man,
go to
look,
show
check this out.
you. I don't know why they covered that story up, but it goes to show you that you got all this stuff going on and people ain't covering the story. I just wanted to show you that. And that was something I just found out earlier today, but I'm just letting you know. Going to show you a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes, but nobody talks about it. They brought that lawsuit up 2 months ago with Lizzo or whenever it happened about a month ago. They didn't really talk about it anymore, but I just went and found it. So stuff's still going on. Remember, everything going on under your nose. Just pay attention, Frank. Just pay attention.
It sounded like a Latina chick or something, or a white chick, or maybe Italian chick she was talking about.
You gotta find out who it is, but
They ain't want to show a picture of her or no, how she looked.
Hey man, when they don't show you no picture, you know it's BS. But like I said, hey look, they trying to cover some shit up. But like I said, man, you know, always good having you on, man. Take your time, have a good night.
All right, PJ, good looking out. I'm gonna holler at you. Peace, man. Salute.
Yes, sir.